Welcome to the Positively Healthy Mom podcast, where positive parenting meets well-being. Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's episode of the Positively Healthy Mom. I'm your host, Laura Ollinger, teen and parent well-being coach. And today I'm excited to bring back my good friend, Marquelle Brown. She has made an appearance on the Positively Healthy Mom a couple years ago, but I bring her back because we have some exciting, awesome new topics to talk about. And Marquelle is a functional medicine nutritionist and betrayal trauma coach. So Marquelle, hey, how's it going? Yeah, and thank you for joining us. I know you're a little under the weather with some allergies going on, but I know you're going to do your best to get through it. So hopefully we don't wear you out too much with your voice. But so today we decided a great topic to talk about would be something relating to the nutrition that you do and kind of the healing and the kind of nurturing we do for our bodies as moms, like what we need, how we keep ourselves active and going to be, there for our kids and how we take care of our kids. And so sometimes what that looks like is someone who's in rough shape, right? Like we're healing, we're recovering from some type of trauma. And other times, everything in our life is going just fine, but we still need to nurture ourselves. And so I really love the idea of talking about the energy centers or the chakras that we talk about and the nutrition that goes with those, because I had no idea that that was even a thing until you and I were talking at a conference a few months ago. And so tell us, like, what is the idea behind certain nutrition, behind certain energy centers or chakras in your body?
Yeah, it's really an exciting topic. And uh, all of this information came from Dr. Deanna Minnick, who actually just received the Linus and Ava Pauling Award through the Institute of Functional Medicine, which is so
Yeah.
cool.
And I love, because I've been trained by her as well through the Functional Medicine Coaching Academy, through the IFM, Institute of Functional Medicine. So we both have that in common, that we've both been trained by her, but completely in separate ways. So I love this. So Dr. Deanna Minnick is amazing. And her big thing is about, what she talks about a lot is eating the rainbow. So share with us like what you've learned from her.
Yeah, and so she also is into creativity and combining science and spirituality, which is pretty exciting.
Mm-hmm.
So she has um, the different systems, 7 systems of health. So we've got the root, and I'm going to go through the color scheme first, or maybe I'll just walk right up through them.
Yeah.
And so in the root, that's red, and this would be anchoring into your beliefs and your values and your identity, your safe communities, and things that you're passionate about. And that's also, we focus on protein there. And then when we move up to the second energy system, she is called that flow. And it's correlated with the color orange. And this is where we focus on water and hydration and fats and oils and emotions, and how can we move those emotions, and creativity, and again, movement, so we can move through those emotions. And then that third energy system, she calls fire, and it's yellow. Okay. And that would be our carbohydrates, those quick burning foods that really have that quick burning energy. And this is also where we're going to notice the thoughts, those charged thoughts. We could call them automatic negative thoughts, intrusive thoughts, imposter syndrome, and learning how to redirect those. Also, when we go to the fourth system, that's actually also known as the heart chakra. And usually when we think of the heart, we think of reds and pinks and purples and whites. And she's actually given this the color green. And this is where we nourish our whole self. So this is where we bring in the green colored foods, the lettuces, and, just more of those greens for energy. And this is also where we're going to work on how do we nourish ourselves with self-care, self-compassion, that love, being curious without judgment. We go up into the next system, and this is the truth system. And it's the color of blue, also like aquamarine blue hues. And this is where we speak our truth. We're learning how to use our voice. We're learning how to be authentic and vulnerable. And this is also where we need to have more nourishing soups, or if you like herbal teas, broths, things that are going to help to nourish that truth system. And standing in our truth and looking at things that empower us. When we go into the sixth energy system, which is also known as the third eye, if you're using the chakra systems, and that's intuition, insight. The color is purple.
Okay.
And this is also where we work on moods. And I have another program that I've titled Food, Mood, and Mental Health. So that's where we really tap into the brain health and how those foods really impact our mood and our insight, our intuition, our discernment, our ability to think, and be in that prefrontal cortex where we can clearly make decisions better, manage our emotions. That's also where the, neurotransmitters, if we're thinking about brain health, and we've got the gut-brain axis. So, what we're eating is going to affect our gut, which is going to affect our neurotransmitters. And so it really does make a big difference what we're eating, as well as what we're thinking and how we're navigating those thoughts and emotions.
Totally.
And then
what's the food that goes with the purple?
yes. So that would be your purple foods like blueberries, blackberries, red onions, red cabbage, any, even not red, the purple onions, purple cabbage, the purple potatoes, and the phytonutrients that go along with the purple, the anthocyanins, that is actually really important for brain health as well. So, which is why they help with mood. They're high in antioxidants, and so that's really going to help with your immune system and boosting your mood. And then we go into that seventh energy system, the chakra. Yes.
The crown?
And that's your spirituality, spirit. And really, she makes it go in a full circle. So
And what's the color of the crown again? I mean,
it's
a bright.
white.
Oh, white.
White
Okay.
in your tans. So again, this is also often correlated with fasting. Some of the white foods would be like onions and garlic. So when we think of those are more of like our cleansing foods, which is why the fasting goes with that. Because a lot of times, even when you study religion and spirituality, there's a lot of fasting involved because it cleanses the spirit.
Yeah.
And then knowing that the spirit and root makes it actually kind of like a circular system because the root and spirit go together. And so that's also where we can kind of tap into those pinks because we've got the blend of the root and the spirit.
The pink and the red and the white, or the white and the red. Okay, so let me review because I did take notes, and I typically don't take notes during a podcast, but this was so good. Okay, so the red is the first one, and that correlates with protein. The orange correlates with water and fat. The yellow correlates with carbs. The green is with lettuce and green foods. The blue is with soups, teas, and broths. The purple is like any type of purple food, blueberries, blackberries, purple potatoes, purple onions. And then the white is fasting, and then any white foods. And then we think about the white blending back into the red. Did I get all that?
Yes. And when we think about that, if we're really grounded, a lot of people that are grounded and anchored, they have some sort of a spiritual practice as well. And so, that really helps to have both of those. And we also start wherever you're at. And so if you need to work on more grounding techniques, like working on your identity and your beliefs and values to help anchor you, and then, you're working up to continue to improve that spirituality and that spiritual practice, whatever that looks like for you, You can definitely start wherever you're at. And the cool thing about this is that it's systems. So when we think about nourishing our whole self,
Mm-hmm.
we've got mind, body, and spirit. And when we look at the different systems, they're all interconnected.
Mm.
So you might have like root flow or flow fire, where you need to really focus on, or insight spirit or truth insight. Or sometimes you might have like a root and the love system, where you're really needing to nourish those areas. So I really
Mm.
like this because you can really fine tune, when you're listening to somebody's symptoms. It
Mm.
helps me to tap into, okay, like they've got some flow issues. So a lot of times women that have, women's health issues, whether that's with fertility or their menstrual cycle, we could look at that flow chakra
Mm-hmm.
and see how could
Mm.
we bring in more creativity, more fats, um,
Mm.
as well as navigating those emotions to help move things. Oh, and one other, I forgot a very important one
Okay.
in the fire system.
Uh-huh.
That's also where we talk a lot about blood sugar dysregulation.
Oh, wait, is the fire the red?
Fire is the yellow.
No.
So that's where we have
Fire's
our,
the yellow.
there's a
Okay.
lot going on there. You've got gut health, blood
Yeah.
sugar dysregulation, and that liver area, so that we're able to also,
Oh.
move through things. So there's also a lot of, in that fire. When we think
Mhm.
of fire, it's like transformation. So when we digest,
Mm.
we are transforming our food so that we can break it down and assimilate it, right? Same thing
Mhm.
with those thoughts and emotions. We want to transform them so they're not holding us back. Instead, they're empowering us. We're going to reframe so that we're restoring the truth, and we have thoughts that are actually going to empower us instead of drag us down.
This is like, I mean, I know you already taught me about this, but I get so excited when I learn something new. I'm having a good day because I'm learning something new. And I feel like this is just so can be transferred. And so I do have two. Okay, so I have one friend who right now is recovering from significant trauma. And she said she is having significant brain fog and like memory problems. And so which of these relates to that?
So, if we're looking at brain fog and memory problems, we are going to look at the brain health.
Hmm.
Um, and so that would be their insight, intuition. A lot of times when there's trauma,
Hmm.
you've had the rug ripped out from under you. So you've have overwhelm, things are unbearable and unbelievable. And
Hmm.
so we really need to navigate the thoughts and the emotions,
Mhm.
and maybe even doing some things to reground first. So,
Mm.
remembering who she is, you know, what is she fighting for? What is she moving towards?
Mhm.
What does she want? She might not even know right now because
Mhm.
her reality is so turned upside down.
Mhm.
And then with the second energy system, the flow, bringing in the creativity,
Mhm.
so she could do some doodle art, or if she likes to paint or draw, or there's so many things. If she likes to write, the journaling there, or
Mm.
sewing, or um, working on a flower bed or a vegetable garden. And even you can bring creativity in with your food.
Mm.
How would you plate that on your plate? Bringing in the different colors, which I always like to recommend 3 to 5 colors on your plate,
Mhm.
and that it actually helps you be more satisfied and satiated when you
Mhm.
have multiple colors on your plate, because it's appealing to the eye, and it just all the colors, they help your senses, which is also going to help boost your moods. So
Mm.
something as simple as that. Also wearing more orange. So
Oh.
because right now she's probably feeling really stuck and stopped,
Mhm.
or we call it a collapse freeze.
Oh, she
So
actually did say that. She said, she just, yeah, she literally, I think, I can't remember which word she used, but she literally said she feels stuck.
yeah. And so if she's feeling stuck, she could start wearing the color orange
Mm.
to help energize through the color, which is flow. We want to start moving. What are those next steps? Also bringing in some movement, whether that's stretching, because she might not feel like doing a lot of exercise. If she can, she could do some walking. I also like some somatic exercises, which is basically moving your body with the intention that I'm safe, I'm going to be okay, I've reached out, I'm getting help. So one of the famous somatic exercises that you can Google, it's called havening.
Oh,
And you,
yes. I know havening. In fact,
yes,
I know a havening practitioner.
I love it.
Yes. Yes.
So putting your hands on your shoulders and
Hmm.
sliding your hands down to the elbows. And then you do want to lift when you get to the elbows.
Okay.
And you want to have it be with the intention, I'm safe, I'm
Mm.
okay. Yeah, this is really hard, I know. And I'm going to get through this. Even
Mm.
you can even be curious, like, yeah, and it's so interesting that I feel so stuck right now and I can't hardly move. And I'm just going to
Mm.
do some things right now to just help my nervous system know that I'm okay.
Hmm.
I'm going to get the help that I need. And so a
Hmm.
lot of times when I do this one, it makes my hands and my feet tingle.
Oh.
And so it's very relaxing. So
Hmm.
whether we are in the fight or flight or in a dorsal vagal freeze, we want to
Mm.
use some of these somatic exercises to help bring us back into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is
Hmm.
the calm, rest, relax, where we, can be more motivated. We've got a little bit more flow. And so another really simple tool, it's called orienting. And basically you just look around and name things. So I've got a mirror and a door and pictures. And out my window, it's super green.
Mm.
Behind me, I have a picture. I can see you've got a picture behind you,
Hmm.
your earrings. And what that does is it just starts redirecting the mind, helps to get you back into that prefrontal cortex so you can
Mm.
think clearly. It starts to calm down that limbic system and those
Mm.
emotions. Uh, and so if you can bring in a few of these tools,
Hmm.
they're very simple, gentle ways to help your system to move through the trauma.
Mm. That's awesome. And I'm 100% sharing this episode with her. And I also have another person came to mind, and I don't know if it's similar, but there's someone in my life who is very clinically depressed. And what would that be the same as kind of the trauma part, or because this person hasn't had any trauma, they are just clinically depressed without trauma? So what would you have a different response, or what would it be?
So, they could implement similar things. Um, uh, so, being depressed. So, one simple thing that they can do, so this also goes along with the fire system and insight, um, is bringing in spices.
Oh.
So spices, they've got a lot of phytonutrients. You get a little bit of spice and you get a lot of spark of life.
Okay.
And so that will help to bring in some creativity and some things for this individual to kind
Mhm.
of bring it some spark to life back. My
Mm.
thought also is there's probably gut issues. We've got that gut brain axis again. So
Yeah.
if your gut's off, then a lot of times your moods are going to be off. Depression
Mhm.
is one of those. So,
Mhm.
bringing in more of these colorful foods, making sure they're
Mhm.
getting good, healthy fats
Mm.
because our brain needs fat.
Yes.
And
Yes.
that's kind of one of those blood sugar hacks. If you're craving sugar, go
Mhm.
find something with good, healthy fats, and it'll probably take
Mm.
the sugar craving away. And that's because if your brain cannot find the fats it needs, it's going to crave sugar and it'll convert it into fat.
Mhm. Mhm. And just for those who off the top of their head need some reminders on what healthy fats are, I know avocados, nuts, seeds, what else?
Olives,
Olives, fish like salmon, like
mhm,
fatty fishes.
nut butters.
Okay. Good.
So those
Yeah.
are all some good ones.
Okay. Okay. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well,
And then the other thing that I was going to say is um, years ago when I was going through my own trauma
mhm.
recovery, I before that happened, I would sing to my kids and I was really upbeat and happy most of the time. And I noticed, I was like, dang, I don't sing anymore. Like, I just don't.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, wow, my spark of life is just totally out. And I would say, my Tinkerbell light is out. Let me say that again. My Tinkerbell light is out.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking, okay, well, what do I need to do to respark that life in me? So what is it that I love, or what is it that I did love that I haven't done for a while that I
Mm-hmm.
could bring back? So thinking about things that you can utilize to help bring back that spark of life, that light, where you're just feeling joy and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to do good things. And when you have trauma, or for those that are stuck in depression, like, it's just like this dark cloud over you, and
Mm-hmm.
it's like, it's really hard. So you have to be very intentional and purposeful,
Mm-hmm.
and looking for those things. Okay, well, what would spark some life in me that's within my values and beliefs, and that's going to be good for me, and maybe even good for others. So maybe even getting involved with a passion project, something that you love that could benefit you, and it's also going to benefit other people. And
Mm-hmm.
there's lots of different things that they could explore. So, oh, I have to tell you something super exciting.
Oh, yay.
Well, I went to the Institute of Functional Medicine's conference last weekend,
Yes, I saw your pictures.
and they said we need to get back to the roots. We need to go from soil to systems. And so
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wow, this is all what I've been learning, with food and spirit, as well as, learning how to help people navigate the thoughts and emotions and redirect and anchor into their identity and who they are. And
Mm-hmm.
so these things are the roots. We only
Mm-hmm.
had just very little presentations on food. It was all about well-being, modifiable lifestyle factors, anchoring into, your identity, your purpose, your values, your virtues, um, you know, good, safe communities, finding people that can listen. And so I was just like, oh, I love this, because in my nutrition, you know, I've really been super focusing on this myself,
Mm-hmm.
that spiritual side, that grounding side, really reconnecting with who you are, who you
Mm-hmm.
want to be, what you're passionate about, what do you want to do, what is your why. And so for them to say that this is the paradigm shift for shifting, the medical paradigm, I was
Yeah.
like, wow, how cool is that? So, I've definitely got this in motion, and I'm super grateful, because that is what I have found when I've been working with nutrition clients.
Mm-hmm.
Before I can really help them with their food and making better choices there, we have got to go back to the roots. Like, how do you
Mm-hmm.
navigate the thoughts and the emotions? What are your roadblocks? What do you think about yourself? Like, people are so critical to themselves
Mm-hmm.
that they can't, you know, they're their own worst critic. They judge themselves,
Totally.
and just put themselves down. And so we have to get to the point where we stop and interrupt that pattern and create a new pattern. And this is where having somebody to help guide you is so helpful, because you might not realize you're doing that, because it's just such a part of who you are in your daily life. And so when we can get back to, wait, what are those thoughts? Yep. Are
Mm-hmm.
those helping you, or are they holding you back? Are they helping you to move towards what you want, or keeping you stuck and you're not doing anything? Because that's usually what we do, is we're just so worried that it's not going to be good enough, so we just don't even start. And so really, these root processes and systems, we have to implement those, and then we're going to be able to do more with
Mm-hmm.
that's actually going to impact our overall health. It will actually help our digestion. It'll help our immune system feel better, because if we're thinking better, it's going to elevate our moods and our dopamine, which is in our oxytocin, and that's going to help our immune system.
100%. It's like all connected. And I think a lot of times we tend to compartmentalize these things. And, a simple way to think of it, I love kind of what you're saying is that take a dieter, right? And you've seen these people, they lose like, and I'm not talking about the new medications that people are using, but I'm just saying like your stereotypical dieter, right? Sometimes they like lose a whole lot of weight, but inevitably they always gain it back, right? I mean, I'm not saying everybody, but they do. And why? It's because they haven't dealt with the thoughts and the feelings and these other things and their passions and their purposes, right? So it's not just like what you're saying is it's not just about the food. It's not just about the intake. It's about dealing with the whole person, and that we are whole beings. We're spiritual creatures on this planet. And this is, we have to think about how we're integrated, that mind, body, spirit. So you have done an amazing job. I mean, I'm just blown away. I feel like I always learn something from you every time we talk. And so, in the interest of saving your sweet, precious voice, is there any last words you have? And then how can people find you going forward?
Yeah. So I would say start small, and then you can build as you go.
Mm,
Because, the small things over time really do make a big impact. And I really
mm,
love that. So if you
mhm,
think, oh, that's not really going to make a difference, that's not going to matter, it actually really will. So,
mm,
you could start with starting to talk to yourself better, creating some identity statements, bringing in some colorful fruits and vegetables, heavier on the
mhm,
vegetables, and some green. If you're working on being kinder to yourself, lots
mhm,
of green leafy salads, spring mixes are going to help heal that heart system,
mm,
and as well as boost dopamine levels and help improve your mood. And
mhm.
so, and then watching your thoughts. And if you don't know how to navigate all these, reach out,
Yeah.
because there is help. You don't have to try to do this alone. And
Mhm,
it is absolutely amazing how your whole life will shift. Your quality of life will improve when you start doing these little things. And, we set goals, and it's really when we can instill the habits and the routines where we get the long term benefit, because we can
mm,
set a goal and know that, okay, I want to do that, but it's actually in the action.
mhm,
When we actually start doing that, things will start to improve and get better. And then we'll be able to install those new habits and routines, and then we can just keep building upon those. So
mm.
start a little bit at a time. I even like to encourage people, if you want to start to focus on just either one meal a day or one snack a day. And then when you get that down really good after a few weeks, then you can go to another meal. And that helps to take the overwhelm off, because we know that everybody is busy.
Yeah.
And these little steps that you're taking to improve your health will make a really big difference. So keep doing great things, and believe in yourself that, yes, I can make these changes. And
Mhm,
I'm making these changes because I want this. And so also, if you know what your why is, like, why are you even wanting to work on your health, improve your quality of life? And then
mm.
that will help to motivate you on those days that it's really hard and you don't feel like it.
Yes, yes. Well, those were wonderful tips. And how can people find you?
So they could go to my website, markellebrown.com, and you could book a session there. I do a discovery call if you have any questions or concerns, or you could also email me.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Markel. I so appreciate it. You're always just such ray of light in my day, and I love all the information. And I just feel like there's just so much here, and there's something for everybody. That's the thing. That's what I like about everything that we talk about. It's like that whole spectrum of people. Wherever you are, there's something that because we all need to continue to pour into ourselves and care for ourselves. And as moms, we're always caring for others, and so caring for ourselves is essential for that. So okay. All right. Thank you
Great.
so much. It was so great to see you. Okay. Bye.
Bye.